America's crime crisis is proving to be a top issue for voters headed to the midterm elections 33 days from now. A new poll finds 77% call it a major problem nationwide. And the facts on the ground back that up, so you understand why people say this. Check out these statistics. Total crime skyrocketing in big cities across America. And while many suggest that progressive ideas like lax bail reform laws and the defund the police push may be behind it, Democrats like squad member Cori Bush just seem to not quite get it. Here's the Congresswoman.
Did defund the police, did progressives go too far in hurting Democratic chances in the fall with slogans like defund the police?
No, because the data has not, there is no data that actually shows that saying defund the police cost actual elections. Not that one thing specifically did it. You know, there were other factors. If someone lost elections.
If you could do it again, would you still double down or use that slogan, defund the police?
Absolutely.
You would?
Absolutely.
Oh, Tammy.
You notice she said it didn't affect elections. When you look at the numbers, what Americans are looking at is the crime on their own streets. She wasn't thinking about the ultimate, what that rhetoric does when it comes to basic support for the police, local office holders' support for the police, local politicians, what suddenly communities begin to think the police are the enemy. Suddenly people aren't helping the police.
They were throwing bricks,
et cetera. And then it's remarkable that was not even a consideration. And there's a reason for that. Because we are little hashtags on a piece of paper. They don't think about us as having real lives every single day, being impacted by this. And if they do, it is part of Biden's painful transition rhetoric, is that this is part of the process, that we have to suffer through this, some kind of struggle session, because it leads to a larger state, more surveillance, more power of the federal government because of this kind of chaos. And in the end, for us little peoples, that's going to be better for us because they know best. This is, it's not painful transition, it's not just gas prices. It's all of this. They mean this. When I was on the left, fortunately quite some time ago, through the 90s, being a leader, there was laughter when dealing with these issues just beginning to emerge about the police getting trashed or policemen being beaten up or people didn't like that there was some kind of new surveillance or that more liberals were being elected. They thought it was funny. It's a long-term view for the left and for the Marxists. What happens long-term, and this is part of the process.
Jason.
Yeah, Tammy's absolutely right. This election that we're going to is a choice election. There is a clear difference between Republicans and Democrats. And Democrats have not prioritized crime and safety. And I got to tell you, this gets to the heart of the voter. Energy, enthusiasm. This is what wins elections. And when you don't feel safe going to the store, when you're CVS and it won't stay open late because they're afraid of crime.
Or open at all.
Or open at all. You can't go to McDonald's after the normal hours because you want. These are the types of things that get to the heart of women voters, Hispanic voters, just families. If you don't feel safe and secure going to your school and allowing your kids to walk the block to go to school, this is a choice that these Democrats are making. Support the police. Make sure that there are prosecutors that put them away and incarcerate these violent criminals. But that's not what the Democrats are doing.
So, and I'll ask the team if we have a little bit of Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy from my talk with him earlier. Let's watch that.
Why is crime at a level it hasn't been in 20 years? Because Democrats defunded the police. They elected woke DAs who don't believe in putting people in jail. And in a commitment to America, we build on a nation that is safe. We secure our border. We don't defund the officers. We add 200,000 police officers. And then we score every single prosecutor in America so people understand, are they upholding the law or not?
So the Minority Leader, Emily, and I also talked about something that I always put into the conversation because, we love law enforcement, not just on outnumbered, but as a whole, as human beings, we can't live without them. We need law and order. So it's emotional remuneration. That's something that I call for. I don't think that you can just expect the best of the best among us to come back and want to be cops now. and want to be our protectors.
That's a good point.
I think we're going to have to make an environment where they feel like they're wanted and they are respected and they are part of the solution, the biggest part. And since we, the victims, are taking such a lesser role and the criminals have been put in front, now we're going to ask them to do more and go out and catch all those people that a lax policy system has put back into, like pollution, back into our lives. We need to give them emotional remuneration with our words, take the rhetoric down, and put that support back.
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree. And not only are they part of the solution, but they're part of our community. But unfortunately, to the Democrat Party, they have otherized them now for years. And so that's why, in part, not only are our law enforcement getting triple-digit assaulted and ambushed and engaging in suicide and terrible things, but they're also exhausted because nothing they do is being backed up by the DAs or by the laws. And as typical, what we get from the Democrats are two things always: hypocritical behavior and a doubling down on those talking points. So Cori Bush says, oh, of course, defund the police. And then we get New York City Councilwoman Tiffany Cabal, for example, saying, after she said, don't call 911, she told her community members, she said, solve it amongst yourselves. She calls 911 over threats. Meanwhile, the Guardian Angels have engaged in a campaign all through the city. They have put up posters that say, yes, please call 911. If you are being a victim right now, if you are in a situation, call 911. This is a nonprofit, private organization that has to remind citizens to go to the police because the city councilwomen and our Governor Hochul will not.
Wow. So House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, they're saying the Commitment to America has a section of this. It's top. If you read their ideas, their vision for America, it's inflation, economy, crime. I mean, those are the top things. Do Republicans have a role now, not just an opportunity politically, but a role now going into those 33 days that are left?
Undoubtedly, and we're seeing that role move numbers. We see it in Wisconsin, where Johnson's ahead by 5 now. We see it in Pennsylvania, where Fetterman has a history of advocating for murderers to be released. But Wisconsin's an interesting little microcosm. When you look at the commercials playing out across the airwaves by the Johnson campaign against Mandela Barnes, it's exposing his legislative history on being against cash bail and wanting it extremely low. It's him holding an Abolish ICE t-shirt, which they're connecting to defund the police, which is working, and him, Mandela Barnes, wanting to reduce the prison population. But look, these aren't commercials, Harris. This is a reality in Wisconsin because we sat here on this couch when Waukesha happened.
Right. Yes.
Several men and women died, dozens injured because a man was just convicted of something days prior, had committed a crime, was released on $1,000 bail, and then wreaked havoc in a Wisconsin community. This isn't a commercial. This is a reality in Wisconsin and beyond.
That's right. Hey, everyone.